Teach me how to please you. Show me how to pleasure you. Today, let me live in your presence that comes every time I obey. Teach me how to please you. Show me how to pleasure you. Today, let me live in your presence that comes every time I obey. Teach me how to please you. Show me how to pleasure you. Today, let me live in your presence that comes every time I obey. I can't tell you how valuable it is to be teachable. Almost nobody is teachable. Forbes magazine said that 84% of all workers require constant oversight. 84 out of 100 people have to have a finger in their face to stay working. 14% require some, constantly, some. Only 2 out of 100 people will work without outside oversight. They're the owners of the companies. What is wisdom? Recognition of a difference in people. Proverbs 2 says it's to see evil people before they hurt you. I'm going to call this today my Protégé Circle. This is not for everybody, but I'm going to later narrow this down to a Zoom meeting or something so everybody and their dog can't drop in, so it'd just be us. I want to talk about the mentors in your life. You'll have more than one teacher. You'll have more than one focus. Not all of us are Elishas and Elijahs, but I want to talk to you out of my heart while I can these few days, while I can. The first sign of a wise person, according to King Solomon's writings, he said the first proof is someone who will listen. 1:5, a wise man will hear. One place says if you correct a wise man, if you give him instructions, he grows. Another person will defy you, react to you, want to quarrel with you. Debate comes easy to me because what I believe with all my heart is usually provable, almost always logical, almost always easy to prove what I believe, because I have a need for truth. I'm going to read you some in this book on mentorship that I want to talk to you too about something that's important. At the end of my first 6 weeks at LaGrange Senior High School in the 12th grade, my history teacher gave me a D-. He was a single bachelor man who the Eisenhower Institute, under President Eisenhower, had chosen him as the #1 history teacher in all of the states of America. He was #1. I sat under him. He was a serious man, not playful at any level. Remember this, because every teacher is different temperament. Playfulness in one, anger quickly in another. Teachers are all different, like students. I loved history. I didn't know why the Athenians and Spartans were so important to us. Like biology, I couldn't understand why the word nomenclature was so important for me to learn in life. The way my mind works is, what's the purpose of this? How will this help me? That's why I did bad in English, C-, Miss White. And when she started describing adverbs and verbs and pronouns and nouns, I said, who named this a verb? Who said who decided the difference between adverbs and verbs? And I was very serious. But to this day, nobody's explained some of those things, and I wish I could. The police came in one Monday morning and put handcuffs on my teacher. They had caught him as a peeping Tom, peeping through somebody's apartment trying to see a woman naked. So they took him to jail. We all didn't know what to say because he was the #1 history teacher in America. So they moved us all to another class, and the man's name was Mr. Fox, F-O-X, just like it sounds. He had a sweet smile, playful, and he taught leaning against his desk, sitting on his desk. Extremely likable. He never acts superior like Mr. Blank did, my other class. He was not overly serious. He turned the teaching into storytelling. I sat up close to him because I was so bad in the grades. I sat up close, about 4 or 5 feet away from him. I sit close to every speaker in any place in the world. I will give you my mind if you're giving me yours. I will give you my attention if you're giving me your attention. I trade seed for the harvest on the spot. I want to know what's here. What can I expect here? What's going to happen to me? And he was profound. I made straight A's. I think one time I made A-. I was good. I was good because he made it good. There's some responsibility on the teacher-protege relationship. There's responsibility on the student to show up, to give attention, not write notes in class Or like one of my relatives at the table, I called all 5 or 6 people together, and one of my relatives sitting there sending out notes on the email while I was trying to talk to my top 5 people. And I said, son, just go sit across the room. There's no reason for us to be together if you're not going to listen to me. I don't do well with non-listeners. Never have, never will. God doesn't either. Because I am ferociously a good listener. I'm the best listener that I've met in my lifetime. In my lifetime. The best listener. I study countenance. I study tone. I study mood. I love communication. I have a need for it. But I'm trying to locate and narrow down my teaching in the next few weeks just to the protege heart. I want someone who has a passion to receive. I need that. I need that. I'm still mystified by the strong words of Jesus that he says if you're talking to somebody in their house and they don't show you any honor, they don't show you any respect, he said walk out of the house and never go back. Shake the dust off your feet. I need to remember that. I forget that sometimes. I'm very responsive to need instead of heed. And I'll see somebody that needs help and I'll rush to them instead of assessing, are they wanting to receive? Are they wanting to? I'm learning that. Last few weeks, I'm really learning that there's just people that really doesn't want to hear from me. I just need to know that. But I've always tried to be more entertaining, more special, more powerful. The teacher matters, and so does the student. And sometimes it's the teacher's responsibility to magnify the value of the information they're showing and sharing. The most interesting person, the person most interested in my teaching in my lifetime was Oral Roberts. He was ahead of my entire family combined, way ahead. And that was fascinating because he was the most successful man, in my opinion, I've ever been around. I mean successful, achieving goals and dreams. Sometimes your mentor is there because of responsibility. Like your father and mother, they feel responsible for you, so they take the lead in disciplining you, correcting you, spanking you, because they're responsible for your outcome. There's mentors who see your potential and they want to participate in seeing what you can become. There's other mentors that are only there because you reach. They're there, but you pursue. You reach. That's why this time is so vital to me. You don't have to be here today. You've got 100 projects on your list. You don't have to be here. But you choose, you're reaching, you're listening, you're hungry, you're thirsty, you're passionate, and you've discerned the value of my difference in my teaching. A mentor's a teacher who wants a relationship. There's many teachers that are not mentors. There's very few true mentors on the earth who will hurt when they see you hurt, who will cry out to protect you. That doesn't happen much. For some reason, that seems to be the heart God's given to me. I'm not just a teacher. I'll fight every devil in hell to stop your pain. What man writes hundreds of books and gives them away over 20 million? What man does that? I don't write books to make $1. I don't do that. Never have. Never crossed my mind. I write books when I'm concerned. I write books when I've made a discovery. A mentor is the quickest way, and I'm reading some of these. A mentor is the quickest exit out of a crisis. David, Samuel, Mordecai, Esther, Ruth, Naomi, Solomon, David, John, Jesus. A mentor anticipates conflict before the protege. A mentor knows what can go wrong. Mentorship is learning from someone else's pain. Mentorship is learning through the losses of somebody else. I remember Oral Roberts spending hours with me, vacation days in his home, him driving me down the road in Tulsa. Oral Roberts, $1 billion ministry. And I was like 34. When I asked him one day, what's the greatest secret of your ministry? I said, who else builds an Oral Roberts University? And he looked at me strange. He said, Brother Mike, I don't think anybody's ever asked me that. Admiration authorizes connection. When you admire somebody. I admired Muhammad Ali at 18. When I had the chance to spend time with him, I grabbed it, loved it. He has a twinkle in his eye like nobody you've ever met. I admire success. Not just Christians. I admire people who succeed. I was reading Michelle Obama's book. How does a man go from a community organizer in Chicago to the president of the greatest nation on the earth? You're not dumb for sure. I paid a young man at 58 years old $75 an hour to teach me. I'm a very slow learner. Technology doesn't come easy to me. But I read one sentence in the richest man in the world at the time, 79 billion, or at least in America, Bill Gates. I read one sentence in his book, and it was hard. Bill Gates doesn't write easy to read. But I grabbed that one sentence and I changed my whole schedule. Who are you willing to learn from? Who do you have a passion to learn from? Warren Buffett is an extraordinary man. He was worth 47 billion. Now, a billion is 1,000 millionaires. 1 billion. That's 1,000 millionaires. And when he read the book on investment, by Benjamin Graham, he got in his used car and drove hundreds of miles, knocked on the door in New York. He made the statement, it never crossed his mind to ask about any money, what he would owe, what he would pay. He said, all I knew is I wanted what was inside that man. Who are you willing to learn from? Where are they skilled that you want to learn from that? I don't want a 350-pound man teaching me health. Sorry. I don't want a 400-pound lady teaching me health. I want somebody that I admire teaching me health. Admiration of achievement, accomplishment. Now, there are various levels of mentorship. There's responsibility. There's convenience. There's a lot of things. All of your believing in life is based on believing somebody else. Everything you believe, you were taught, you saw, you observed. Everything you believe came through another person, good or bad, right or wrong, helpful or damaging. The influence of somebody has made you what you are today. You can go wrong like Absalom went wrong. Solomon followed Psalms, and Absalom was incredibly jealous and hated him, his father. Believing is not the key to life. Believing the right person is the key to life. Get close. Find a way to get close to whoever you admire. I remember well when Mr. Trump he wrote me a note. I had to sign it. Asked me would I be one of his 15 advisors if he won the presidency. I prayed on it. I thought about it. And I thought, well, I've got the Wisdom Center started here, and I don't know. Then I remembered Daniel, remembered Joseph, being close to people of influence. And I wrote a note back, yeah. I will move to Washington, D.C. if it works out that way. God had a different plan. But I admired the $10 billion he was worth. I admired the number one reason that I voted for Mr. Trump is he was the only politician that loved babies. All the people in America, 300 million of us, and he was the guy that wanted to save babies' lives. And I liked that. That was my voting. I wasn't comfortable with him calling people names, but at least he wouldn't kill babies. I'm scared of people who kill babies. I'm real scared of people who murder babies. They smile, grin, big, but I'm scared of people who hate little babies inside of a woman's belly. You got to be indescribably evil to despise babies. I thought anybody in the world would love a baby. I didn't know 47 million people in America hated babies. I didn't know that. Get close. How do I get close? Write a letter. read every book they've written. I've read every word that I think Billy Graham ever wrote. I admired him. I admired Bill Clinton. I admired Hillary. I read every word, almost every word in her book, what happened about her loss to Mr. Trump. I admire successful people. Floyd Mayweather, money boy. They call him Money Mayweather. Only guy on earth who ever fought for 45 minutes and they gave him $100 million. My Lord, what kind of guy is that? So I read every word that Floyd Mayweather ever said. George Foreman, Sonny Liston. I could go down the list. I study successful people. One of the richest men in Australia, Peter J. Daniels, we've had many hours in talk, many hours together. He told me more than once, because he was illiterate and couldn't read or write, and he got saved under Billy Graham. So immediately he began to learn how to read and write, and he read 7,000 biographies about famous people. He's told me that over and over. Brother Mike, the first thing I did when I learned to read was read 7,000 biographies. Why? Biographies contain secrets of people's overcoming. I've hired trainers to mentor me. There's so much I don't know. I asked one day in church, I said, who will teach me Spanish? And my translator lifted her hand. So after church, I said, how much will you charge me to teach me some Spanish words? She said, $100 an hour. I didn't even negotiate. I should have. They're cheaper than that. And she taught for 8 hours, the first day of teaching, 8 hours. All I knew at the end of the day was 2 words. Sí, yes, gracias. Thank you. She wanted to teach me about the history of Spain. I said, just pick out 20 easy to say words for me. Give me the feeling of success. Give me some words to say. But she didn't, so I quit. I have to like the person I'm learning from. I can learn from bad people, but purposeful learning should be through people you trust. Never spend more time with the critic than you would with a friend. Many who receive from you have never received you. These are painful discoveries at 76 and 77 years old. Many who receive from you do not receive you. They want your money. They want an endorsement, but they don't want you. Access is the costliest investment. Access is the costliest investment a mentor can make into a protege. Today I received a phone call, the vice president's wife from Kenya in Africa. She's a smart woman, very smart. Her husband's a lawyer. He studied all my books when he was in law school. But her husband's now become the president of Kenya. And so I received a phone call today communicating her caring and what she remembers. She used to meet me with her 6 or 8 bodyguards in Nairobi. Every time I flew to Nairobi, she would meet me there, etc. He's become the president now, and he's a God-conscious man. I've had meals with him. But I want you to listen carefully to me. There's really a difference in people. The difference in people is their celebration of goodness. The difference in, there's 42 differences. I can throw a few of them out at you. I have a book on it. The difference in people is who they admire. The difference in people is the voice they trust. The difference in people is their willingness to make a change. The difference in people is what they're willing to walk away from. The difference in people is who they ignore. The difference in people is who they pursue. There's a difference in people. I was on the 58th floor of the City of Faith, 58th floor, where Brother Roberts had an apartment for me. I was 34, 35, 30. I woke up at 5:30 one morning, and he had just explained how the prayer language could be interpreted by yourself. I never heard that before nor since. And I got up that morning and I said, I was kneeling beside the bed, and I thought, I'm going to experiment with what Brother Roberts told me. I'm going to see if I can interpret back after I pray in tongues, if I can say it in English, and see what happens. God is comfortable around experimentation. If I told you what happened that day, you would be shocked and stunned. But I had just heard the night before. He said, Brother Mike, there's two secrets to my life. The first is the law of the seed, sowing for harvest. He said, you know more about that than God ever taught me. He said, I've never met anybody in my life that understands sowing and harvest like you do. But he said, the second secret is interpreting your prayer language back in your English language so you can find out what God's plans are. Nobody in my lifetime, thousands, 38,000 audiences, nobody ever told me what Brother Roberts told me that day. I say that because your mentor knows 100 times more than you, maybe 500 times. Do you respect that? Do you care about that? Does that matter to you? Protégés are as different as mentors. Never study people by their potential. Study people by their honor. People of honor will find the goodness in you. People of honor will value the goodness in you. You have no business connected to somebody who doesn't value the goodness of God that's inside of you. I love that. I love that. Judas and John had the same mentor. One killed himself. The other then wrote books in the Bible. Elijah never requested an opportunity to teach. Elisha requested the opportunity to learn. The protege without questions is a protege without interest. A protege without questions is a protege without interest. Sometimes I teach to end your search. Sometimes I teach to launch and begin your search. Who trained you for today? Was it enough? Was it efficient? Who will train you for your future? What price are you willing to pay for mentorship? A friend of mine went to a famous preacher we all know and said, what would it cost me to be your protege? The famous preacher I preached for him said $17,000 a month. And he started paying my preacher friend $17,000 a month just to meet with him one time a month. He said, that's crazy. Not when you want to learn. Not when you want to become. Mentorship does not guarantee success. Judas had mentorship. Obedience to mentorship decides your successes. Mentorship is the rose without thorns. Mentorship is the pleasure of knowledge without the pain of experience. Mentorship is often a reward for admiration. Your presence is the greatest investment in others. Your presence. I had a preacher call today. He wants to fly 8,000 miles to spend some more time with me. He's a protege. He's not poor. He's not broke. But he puts great value on truthfulness, the wisdom of God. Those who don't heed you don't believe you. They don't believe in you. When I know who you admire, I can predict what you will become. Where you are reveals who you've chosen to follow. Everywhere you sow honor, you will reap favor. And everywhere you find favor, you'll find prosperity. Let me talk to you a little bit, because many of you that follow our teachings know that I'm a real believer in the financial partnership with God. I'm not going to throw a bunch of scriptures on the screen. You know them. 2 Corinthians 9:6, Psalms 112, verse 1, 2, and 3, Deuteronomy 28, verses 1 through 14, Malachi 3, 9, 10, 11, and 12, Luke 6, 38, 39, and 40, Mark chapter 10, verse 28, 29, and 30. I don't have to put all those scriptures. If you can read, you already have a persuasion. But I thought I would throw some things at you. Do not argue with people over the law of reward in the Bible. Don't argue with anybody about that. I want to read you. If money is evil, why is everybody looking for jobs? If money is evil, why do you pray 1 hour a day, but you work 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week? If money is evil, why did God make money a reward for obeying his scriptures? Psalms 112. If money is evil, why did Jesus allow Judas to carry a bag of it around when they traveled? If money is evil, Why do you allow it to be discussed around children? If money is evil, why don't you work for free as a volunteer? If money is evil, why do you tell everybody God's blessed you? If money is evil, why don't you refuse the raise the boss offers? If money is evil, why are you carrying it around in your pocket if money is evil? If money is evil, why do you give it to people you love? If money is evil, why do you hug people who give it to you? If money is evil, why do you pick it up when you see it laying on the sidewalk? If money is evil, why do you protect it? Why do you own a safe if money is evil? If money is evil, why has Satan doubled your income weekly? If money is evil, why doesn't the devil triple your income? If money is evil, why is your wife working on a second job? If money is evil, Satan would double your salary weekly. Money decides the life experiences you can have. Money feeds children, prints Bibles, destroys poverty, evangelizes the world, builds a roof over the head of your children. Money buys the clothes your children can wear. Money pays for the college so your children can become learners full time. Money's not a miracle. It's a reward system for obeying somebody. Job 36:11. If they obey him, they shall spend their days in prosperity. Money is a divine reward system for helping people. Let me stop. Valerie, blessings on you. Uganda's here. Apostle Sonia. Lewis. Yvette. In Gonzales, Louisiana. Angela Calloway. Teresa's here. Uganda's here. Write down this name if you could for me. Wafula. 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 Wilfred. Wilfred. If you are a protege of our ministry, I'm not talking about, if you feel that I'm a mentorship voice in your life, would you call the book number 817-759-BOOK and just say I'm a protege? Give them your shipping address, give them your phone number, and I'm not going to harass you. There's something. I want to gather a circle around me in the coming weeks. Jesus made it with 12. Holy Spirit made it with 120. Gideon made it with 300. Doesn't matter how many to me. I passed the crowd addiction many years ago. But I want to know, do you find yourself easy to learn from me? Do you feel helped when I finish teaching? Do you? Leon Walton, LaWanda Jennings, Felicia. God has rained blessings from heaven today. Stuart McCall, Stephanie Johnson, Cindy Jones, you're with me, I believe, on that. I'm going to do something special in the coming weeks for people who really see themselves in the Protégé Circle. We could call it the mentorship room. But if you're able to receive and say, Brother Mike, when you get through teaching, I feel like it was worth the time. Michael Caine. Michael just blessed me. Put Michael Caine down. There's something he was on my mind this morning about 11 o'clock. Tracy McReynolds, Teresa, Jerry Jones, Greg Thomas. Quote, you're worth your weight in gold. Wise, a master communicator teacher. Greg, I treasure the moments you encourage me. Greg Thomas stands out in my heart. We're going to re-air this every hour till tomorrow at 12 o'clock. You that were not here in the first part, it'd be worth it. It'd really be worth it. Glam Rose says, I'm a protege. If you'll have me, be a joy. Father, I know that the weeks ahead are valuable to my life. I know that the weeks ahead, there's going to be extraordinary impartation. And I want to narrow the ministry down to just receivers, Lord. Just people who receive. My time is limited, Lord. I want to invest where it matters. I want to invest where it matters. Father, I ask you to take these moments. Lord, I never even knew what a protege was till I was well into my 30s. I didn't understand anything about mentorship. I didn't understand that I could find out in 1 hour what would take me 5 years to learn through pain and tears. Father, mentorship is impartation. Mentorship is investing in someone's protection, in someone's goals and dreams. Familiarity is dangerous, and I understand that. But there's several here today that are with me. Give me understanding of how to make their life happier than it's ever been. Amen. Apostle Sonia just wrote me, I never leave empty. There's plenty of food at your table. Stuart McCall writes me, quote, you greatly influenced my life. Surely you have changed it for the better. Leonard says, I receive. Tracy McReynolds. Uganda. Any other nations here besides Uganda? Here's the ways that you can plant seeds to help us stay on the television and the radio in Jerusalem. And I'm thankful. I'm grateful. Screenshot that if you would like. The seed number, 844-789-SEED. 817-759-BOOK. The book number is available 24 hours a day. Anyone that plants a seed of $112, I'm sending you the 840-page book that I taught from tonight. We only have about 20 or 30 left. The hardback books will never be reprinted again. The paperback books, if they're gone by December the 31st, they will not be available anymore. We're developing a download website called MikeMurdochBooks.com. I have books for as little as $2 each. Go to my website. Over 450 titles. Read the summaries. and see what God can do for you. At a Nike, I'm a protege. Adenike. EROMOSELE. I want to remember that because I'm putting together a special blessing just for proteges. Father, I decree financial harvest for every seed being planted in our ministry. Some are sowing through Cash App, PayPal. Some are sowing through our website, wisdomcenterchurch.com. Some are writing me letters to Box 1925. But I ask you, every good thing you've ever done for me, do for them. You gave me $1 million homes, give them $1 million homes. You gave me debt-free homes, give them that. You gave me 3 jets. Father, I ask you, within 77 days, let the heavens open on every obedient seed. I'm 77 years old. Within 77 days, I ask you to send waves of financial favor upon your family. When I open my hand, you open your windows. If you want a free copy of The Unhurried Life, it's book 230. It's book 230. If you want my father's 485 pages of everything my father ever said, we copied it. JEM 12. It's hardback. It's my gift to you. JEM 12. If you want a gift copy of the book, The Minister's Topical Bible, it's book 32. It's book 32 if you want a gift copy. If you want a gift copy of the Traveler's Topical Bible, you're going on vacation, leave this in your car. Put this in, it's my gift. Book 139. Book 139. If you're a monthly partner and you have not yet received your special book with all my notes, it's book 235. It's book 235. Anyone that supports me monthly at any level, book 235 with 160 pages of all my private notes. If you're sowing today any seed, ask for book 272, hardback. It has 2 of the major books I've written. It'll never be repeated again. It's a collector's edition. It even says that. If you're sowing any seed today at any level, ask for book 272. Father, I sow this book, 840 pages of the greatest thoughts God's ever given me. If love was enough, Lucifer would still be heaven's worship leader because God himself is love. Love's never been enough to change anybody. Never has. Everybody that's ever turned on God was loved by God. Love has to be received before it changes someone. If you excel in love, you've excelled in life. If you sense danger, it is not love. There are 12 proofs of love. God gave me a phenomenal wisdom key on rejection. Wouldn't you feel stupid if a fool enjoyed you? Wouldn't you feel stupid if a fool enjoyed you? Rejection is divine protection. When somebody rejects you, God's protecting you. It's powerful. It's my celebration of the 112 seed based on Psalms 112. I love you, family. Thank you for letting me be in your world. Thank you, Michael, for those words. Connie says, I would like to be a protege. All you have to do is reach. All you have to do is love the wisdom of God. There's no financial request. You sow when the Holy Spirit whispers to you. There is a person that God's talking to about a $500 seed. Did I ever tell you about that story? I think I did 3 or 4 times. God spoke to me to give a well-known preacher in Los Angeles 500 of my record albums. He asked all of us to give $500. I didn't have 200, but I gave him 500 of my record albums. And within weeks, preachers all over the United States began to write me for meetings. My first $500 seed I ever planted in my lifetime. And it brought golden connections all over America. It's a golden connection seed. Father, there is somebody that feels a whisper to sow a $500 seed into my ministry. The first time you ever spoke to me, I got invitations all over the world. There's a golden connection on the other side of the $500 seed. You're one person away from a radical blessing. One person away. There's a person right now watching me. We may be on the re-air, but there's somebody who's going to create a golden connection somewhere in your life from a $500 seed. Journal today and watch it come to pass. I love you. I'll see you tomorrow at 12 o'clock noon. 2 times a day, 12 and 5, Texas time. I just started a miracle. Oh, I just planted my seed. There's a $500 seed, and it's going to create a golden connection. There's a $500 seed, and it's going to create a golden connection. I think it'll happen. Your connection will happen in less than 30 or 35 days. It's going to be an answer. You'll write a testimony about this. Somebody is about to launch a whole testimony about a golden connection in your life. You're one person away from new joy. Good night.